Joe and I have been stumped by where to set up camp for the night. And now, of course, we got rain coming in.
Joe is incredibly willing to push forward, always. His will to survive is strong, but his body and mind are giving him the most trouble. I can tell as I watch him work that he's foggy. He's not concentrating. He often stumbles as he gathers supplies in the bush, and for every 50 branches I might grab, he grabs 10. I can only push him so hard, as I want him to finish this out feeling successful. I don't need to break him. I just need him to experience true survival for what it really is. Brutally difficult, uncomfortable, just plain hard. Survival is not camping, and it never will be.
You want to do the honors or you want me to?
I'd love to.
All right. All yours. Where I pick up the story from here is at the foot of an old sheep farmer's cabin. That might sound luxurious, but they don't usually leave these places in very good repair, so take a quick look, see what I'm dealing with. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's filthy. Really bad. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah. There's nothing here, and there's nothing that I even want to make use of. That's the way it is. I suppose if it starts to storm, I could come in here and get a fire going in here. But you know what? It's damp and moldy and wet in here. Sometimes I get lucky when you find a survival cabin that's maybe even meant to be for survival, like I did in Labrador, or it's just there, but it's it's decent enough you can sleep in it, like what happened in Argentina. Sometimes you come across a cabin like this, and frankly, I'd rather stay outside than inside.
Exhausted or not, I need to stay warm and dry tonight to be able to think clearly tomorrow and get a bearing on what I should do next. Using a rain poncho instead of a raincoat gives me more versatility in sheltering myself from the wind or rain.
I'm now at the top of a hill, so if searchers are coming for me, I don't have so much of a sound buffer anymore by being back up there. Maybe I'll be able to hear something. Well, if I take my time, this might be doable. Oh. Comes on to rain. It's not perfect, but who says you can't build a shelter with a broken leg? Now, to bring the fire down.
I'm working on a new shelter using our raft as our bed, while Bob uses his two-lighter technique to get a new fire going. But in one moment of complacency, Bob changes our luck of having two lighters by accidentally leaving one of them within reach of the flames. The one lighter alone is now useless, which means turning to our survival kits and using up precious fire-starting supplies. We don't talk much tonight. We just get down to work. We have no cave to shelter us this night, but we do have a few of the survival items like an emergency blanket and plastic garbage bag. The Kane family attempted to make a bit of a shelter out of hucklebushes. They had much rain to deal with. My surrogate family of Monica, Sam, and I have been lucky so far. No rain. So I've directed them to simply gather as many ferns as possible to see if we can create a large blanket of insulation. It's much too late in the day to be thinking about making a roof or a substantial shelter. So perhaps, just by creating a massive sleeping bag out of the hundreds of ferns available, we may be able to stay warm through the night. Not every wilderness location has material that can be easily gathered by the armload and used as insulation.
This is actually an aspect of survival with a group that I rarely get to experience, and that's the advantage of having more than one person to gather the supplies. Sam is gathering as many ferns as she can, and Monica's up clearing the area where we're going to sleep, so there becomes a bit of a teamwork going on. The best part of that is psychologically it's really comforting, because it's going to be a long, miserable night.
Even gathering them with small knives is extremely easy for an able-bodied person. The three of us are bearing down and getting to work, albeit mostly under my guidance. In other areas, dry leaves can work incredibly well. And if you have a tarp or rain poncho, you can gather leaves on the tarp to move to one spot to become one big pile. Then all that's needed is to squirm into the pile, and there's a good chance it'll be warm and even protecting from the rain. It comes down to your own ingenuity and the luck of having abundant material with an insulation-like loft to work with. Once you're in, you're in. So we've waited until the last possible moment to get inside the pile to try to get a few moments' sleep.
So this kind of shelter is the one that I believe in a lot. It works really well with leaves, but they've got to be dry leaves. So, you know, that's tricky. Sometimes in the fall, on the right day, if you happen to be lost on that day, you can get a big pile of dry leaves. You crawl in them like it's a cocoon. And it's dirty, it's filthy, but you keep all your body warmth in with you. So what I've got happening is behind me is Sam's on the one side, Monica's in the middle, and I'm here. And so using this little space blanket, this emergency blanket, was laid over them first, then throw all the ferns on. Well, that's pretty cool because now we've sort of got this layer between us and the ferns, which is protective. And that way, if it comes on to rain, probably huddle underneath this sort of in fetal position. It won't be comfortable, but we might stay dry, and that'll be vital. So it's heavy having all this fern material on top of us, but yeah, I mean, like I was getting cold, and I feel warm up against you guys. I can feel heat underneath here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we're not chilled anymore, right?
No.
Okay. Only 12 hours to go. One of the things I'm doing is constantly breaking these branches with my hands instead of using my knife, simply because this time of the year in the spring, it's just easier to do it. So save my knife, keep it sharp, and just use my hands when I can. So I don't know if he's gonna get a fire going, and I already promised that if he doesn't, I won't. So I at least want to be up off the ground and stay warm. I hate leaving him to not do well if he doesn't do well. But it's the best way to learn. A lot of time left here before the sun goes down. But one thing I wanted to try out, doing a little bit of a test this time on survival gear. It's a chainsaw blade. Not so bad. That worked. If I need to cut some bigger branches, I'll try this saw again. Hope he's not too bummed out about being alone. Unfortunately, being alone is part of survival. One thing that Joe did do was he thought that we were only a half an hour away from sunsetting. So he thought maybe he should be looking for a place to sleep. Never wait till a half an hour before sunset to find that place that you've got to spend the night. For me, I like to have at least an hour and a half of time if I know I've got to do something like this. Over the many years of surviving out in places like this, what I've been doing is often just wearing a raincoat. Raincoat and rain pants is usually what I have with me. Not since survival school, when I was training in survival, have I come out and instead of wearing a rain jacket, wear a simple rain poncho. They make great roofs. So, a little blast from the past with this rain poncho, and I think that's going to work out pretty cool. And I've got a knife, belt knife on me, and my own design survival kit. I actually haven't had a chance to test it out in a situation like this, in actual survival. So, now's the time. I'm a little worried about the sun going down here right now. I just want to get set up for the night. So instead of going through what I have in my survival kit now, I'll do that tomorrow. For tonight, I just want this little bit of rope that's in here.
I guess I forget how much I've done this, how familiar I am with the pitfalls or benefits of certain actions taken in the bush.
If I can get enough branches, we can make almost like a big A-frame that we can all squeeze in. and then cover over.
To be bluntly honest, I don't like being the leader here, to be the one to give the orders. But this is in my wheelhouse, not theirs. And I have to keep them motivated for their own good. I know we can all settle into a rhythm and accomplish the task at hand much better than if I were out here alone. So once again, we separate and get to work.
All right, well, the girls are working on the tarp, the sort of the space blanket thing we've got. We're gonna use that as a roof. And just that whole brilliant idea of taking the duct tape off the buckets is working out. I'm actually able to strip the duct tape into little tiny pieces here and use it to help tie the shelter together. So every little thing helps.
Just because it's sunny now, there is no guarantee bad weather won't come in soon. And even though, for their mental state, I did allow the girls an hour of sleeping, we continue to build and prepare for the night, using such seemingly insignificant advantages as the garbage bag. Imitating real life, we brought in what any father and son team might. We each had one of those little wristband survival kits, a tarp for rain while Logan took his pictures, and in a last-minute suggestion, I threw in a small jungle hammock for us each.
All right, so you want to shoot it out wide, use some rocks. Here, I'll work with you.
If you plan on being out for only a few hours, but your pickup never arrives, what happens next?
This is the exact scenario where the apprehension really kicks in. I mean, I'm out here with Logan and ostensibly on a photography expedition. Where's our pickup? Where's our ride home? So in this scenario, it's obvious that we wouldn't be building shelters. I mean, who wants to go up into there, right? Up into the jungle. I mean, you can see how thick it is up in there. And so we're out on this sort of pebble beach here. Seemingly a nice, open, safe place to be. But in fact, what we've got to worry about the most, Logan, is the water coming up. And I think having our tarp right here, looking this way, is the best place because we can kind of watch it. If we were on the other side, down at the bottom end of this pebble beach and the water's coming up, we might not notice it. Worst case scenario, we can go up into that jungle there. I can see it goes up and it'll be a scramble and it won't be pretty, but at least we'll get away from the rushing water. The rivers here can come up in less than an hour. Feet. In an hour or three, you could have a 10-foot rise in this river. It's been raining off and on us, which is why I've got the tarp laid out here. Further up there in the hills, if there's a lot of rain, it's going to come down this river, right onto Logan and I. I don't know if we're going to try to sleep in spells. It's going to be hard to sleep anyway. The other thing that Logan and I aren't going to do is get a fire going, and the reason for that is I want to follow in those footsteps of what most people would do. And they wouldn't think to get a fire going, and by the time you think, oh my gosh, we need a fire, the sun sets. And indeed, the sun is about to set. So here we go.
There are a few elements of the wilderness I will not underestimate. Heavy winds and powerful water are two of them. And as exposed as we are out on the gravel bar, I want to see the spot in the jungle that Logan found on his recon mission. Maybe it can serve as plan B if we have to move.
Oh yeah, I see. Even here it could get washed out if you look at it.
I mean, it is 5-6 feet above the river.
Yeah, it's about 5-6 feet up, but you can see how it's been deep enough here to come up here and wash out. See all the mud and sand. It's gonna depend on how bad it gets. All of this makes me nervous right now. Feeling like we might have to do something in the middle of the night is, I hate that feeling. It's not good. You can almost handle anything during the day, but when stuff happens at night, it's very dangerous. Especially in the Amazon jungle.
With the water rising fast, we've made a quick decision to move camp in the dark. In survival, those who hesitate are lost, and probably dead.
All right, this is gonna be nasty, but well, we'll be all right getting across now. Better now than when it's a foot deeper. I suggest just walk slowly right behind me and I won't take you anywhere deep, okay?
Logan's boots are 4 inches shorter than mine, and even that little disadvantage can matter in survival.
Let me know if you need me to slow down. Deep here, but not so bad. You should be fine. It's coming up though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's more just the water that's splashing up with the resistance. Yep, I can feel it already.
Yeah, but the water feels stronger than it did before. Okay, down this way, shallower. All right, you know what? Before it starts raining, let's get the hammocks up.
I've always said there's no forgiveness time for survival when it's terribly cold. In the jungle, it's the rain. Either prepare for it or get caught in it. We didn't even have time to properly set up our little nylon tube hammocks to escape the torrential downpours that will last all night long.
Oh man, it's raining so hard right now that my tarp actually came flying down, and I got just poured on. And now I've got to kind of sit up and hold myself together under this tiny little tarp that's pouring uphill.
This is a wolf den. Let's take a look at all of the wolf scat here. We may have visitors later tonight. That'll be interesting. But if it comes on to rain, this will help. At least we can tuck in out of it, right?
Yeah, no, I like it.
And otherwise what we do is get a fire going here and let it reflect the heat off. What I'm seeing is not a massive fire, but definitely a good-sized fire for the night with this amount of wood. We'll do all right here, right? As long as we don't get trampled by horses or yaks, I guess.
In and out of rainfall, Logan and I immediately set to improving our shelter in ways that will keep the rain off and the heat in.
See, Logan's just made himself a little shelf there to keep the firewood up on, so his feet can tuck in down there for curling up and sleeping out of the rain. Our problem is that our shelter doesn't come over quite enough. We really have to squeeze in. You can see the rain comes down there, unfortunately, which means tucking back in under here to stay dry. Watching the rain come down.
We continue to improve the shelter every chance we get, which is a must in any survival situation. Always work to improve your circumstances. You've got to be proactive in survival, so long as you have the strength.
This is actually an idea that I've stolen from my time in Sri Lanka. They were making houses there out of, well, the walls were made out of dung. So why not try the same thing?
The dung is dense enough to keep the water out. Brilliant.
You know, green limbs are awfully hard to break off.
Well, part of the advantage of surviving with more than just one is teamwork. So here's what I will do. Careful now. I know you're a good man with a knife, but I don't want to be the one that lends you a knife. Thank you. So there you go. I'll lend you my knife. That's one of the things, right? I mean, not everybody has all the tools and stuff, and so you've got to divide duties.
Cutting limbs for a mattress.
The energy you expend in a survival situation has to be on the right activities. Waste your energy on frivolous ideas, and all you do is burn down your strength and burn down the clock. And then you have real trouble. This is why survival as two is a lot better than surviving out here alone. Just the same, the sun is setting fast.
All right, so we are, I was just saying to Bill, we're looking pretty here. We've got a lot of firewood, but I'm gonna get a lot more. Bill's been getting all the boughs. We've got a little hole tucked down in there for our fire, and of course it's got a natural reflective wall of all that rock. It's not gonna be comfortable on our backs, so that's gonna be something we have the luxury right now of fixing, actually. Bottom line, Bill, is here's the rule of thumb. We can't have too many boughs and we can't have too much firewood. Okay. So yeah, but working together like this, it makes such a huge difference. I mean, what we've just done in 40 minutes, it was, you know, it would be an hour and 15 or an hour and 20 for me. So this is good. We're starting to get settled in here. There's all our firewood. And I'll give them kudos on the location too. I gotta say, we're in this nook and cranny here. You can see behind me, it's a wash, and goes down. But the wind is blowing this way, so we're caught in a nice little crux here, and I think that's going to serve us well. The odd wind is still swirling up in here every once in a while, but I think, yeah, I think it's going to really serve us well to have climbed up into this little downwash area. You can see behind me, tons of firewood that's easily broken. Some of it you got to climb for, but so far so good. We'll have to see how Bill does getting the fire going now, because that's all on him. In doing Going Down Slow, I had written it and played it and heard it in my head just as a basic folk song. And then when Mike and Doug got involved, we changed it into this more of a pop, more electric, and way up the energy.
It could Mother Earth and the spirits of land.
Yeah, and then I do the all know.
Yes, yeah. So just girls, just the Mother Earth and the spirits of land.
So yes, my vision's being realized slowly, but there's also now joint visions that are coming into it. Bleeding hearts and the artists have all got to go.
Yeah, well, I think she's gonna go higher. I'm gonna go a little lower.
What the mountains and the oceans and trees.
Very nice. That's nice. That's sweet. Yeah.
I expect that will play out throughout the week. You know, my vision pretty much there. Oh, then vision with the production team, a little bit takes it in a new route, then back to my route again. It'll just sort of flow like that, you know, until you have what is the joining of all the creativity.
Rain blows across the lake, and it sounds like a forest crying. A tree falls on the land, and it sounds like a forest dying. All these voices of other lands need to hold on to each other's hands. Bleeding hearts and the artists of all got to go. Mother Earth and the spirits of land all know what the mountains and the oceans and trees try to show. This earth is going down slow. No matter how far you go, this earth is going down slow. Wind blows across the sand, and it sounds like a desert crying. Ice melts into the sea, and it sounds like the Arctic dying. All these voices of other lands need to hold on to each other's hands. Bleeding hearts and the artists of all got to go. Mother Earth and the spirits of land all know what the mountains and the oceans and trees try to show. This earth is going down.